Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today got another build for you. This is GreekGeek's Lightning Paladin that's going to be using Smite for tons of hit damage. He'll be using 𝐓𝐤𝐦𝐻𝐿 to get your mana down, and if your mana ever does fill up, it'll empty out, but it also gives you lots of lightning damage. He has the Stormcarved Testament, which is going to allow you to get Lightning Pen, Shock on Hit, and some extra flat added lightning damage. He'll have Devotion, which gives you a bunch of flat added adaptive spell damage based on how much flat mana you're missing, and increase cast speed by percentage of missing mana. So you want to stay low mana on this, which will be really easy because the hammers will have a cost. And then for extra protection, he also has the Bastion of Honor on it, but there will be both a legacy planar for this and a startup gear so that you can do it without any of those uniques. However, some of those are really easy to get, while others like Bastion of Honor might take you a bit longer. This one's really good for AoE and single target. It will absolutely just go through and cream everything that you have. You have a very high chance every time one of your hammers get a hit to be able to proc Smite and have those Smites do tons of damage. In fact, when you're at low mana, those Smites can do about 150k damage against the training dummy. Overall, it's a really fun playstyle. You can lunge from enemy to enemy. You have a lot of move speed. It does take you a little bit to be able to cast the hammers out, as every single one of them will stutter step you, no different than like Devouring Orb or some other skill. But overall, it's a very fun playstyle, and it definitely has a lot of lightning coming down. So let's go ahead and get into the skills, the interactions, and just how it all works. Alright, for skills, I'm running Sigils of Hope, Smite, Hammer Throw, Lunge, Holy Aura. And then for Sigils of Hope, we have this to where there's the 6% chance on kill for it to automatically be summoned, so through echoes you should never have to manually cast it. However, because you are trying to use all your mana, you can spam a bunch of them if you need to keep your mana low. So we got 5 points in Empowering Sigils, 1 point in Last Wish, 2 points in World of Alacrity for the cast speed, 5 points in Iron Sigils, 5 points in Enduring Hope, 1 point in Tetragram, and 1 point in Meditation for that extra health regen. For Smite, this is set up to do as much damage and be lightning. We're not manually casting it, so don't put any points in the double cast. We've got 2 points in Blinding Flash, 2 points in Piety, 1 point in Order of Lagan, so that it's converted to lightning, and instead of Ignite you have Electrify chance, 1 point in Unbound Scale so you can hit multiple targets. That does increase the mana cost. Sacrifice for the 250% more hit damage, 4 points in Atonement for the less health cost, 3 points in Conviction, 6% base crit should be all that you need in order to get 100% crit in this build, especially since with this weapon it has extra spell critical strike chance that you can get with an LP 1 or 2 on your Frozen Ire on your 𝐓𝐤𝐻𝐿. However, if you need more base crit chance, you can definitely put a couple more points here instead of into Deep Impact, which we have 2 points for more crit multi. Then for Hammer Throw, we have this set up to reduce the mana cost, to apply Armor Shred, and then to have as many projectiles as possible. We got 1 point in Winged Hammers, 1 point in Steadfast Path, 2 points in Catapult for the extra projectile, 6 points in Ballista. We want that reduced mana cost, 1 point in Iron Sigils, which halves the number of projectiles, but also increases the mana cost. Because we have all the extra projectiles, you'll still fire 3 hammers off. It does round up. 1 point in Hammer Vortex, 3 points in Rapid Throw so we can throw them as quick as possible, and 5 points in Shattering Force so that we apply a stack of Armor Shred with every hit we do with the hammer, which then allows you to do more damage with the Smite that's procced afterwards. For Lunge, we got 1 point in Warrior's Renewal, 2 points in Ambuscade, 1 point in Double Strike, 2 points in Initiate's Onslaught, 3 points in Disarming Blow, 3 points in Coal of the Weak, so you do have a 15% kill threshold, so you can take things out pretty quick once they're down to that 15% life. 4 points in Holy Incursion, so that you have a 100% chance to proc a Smite depending on how far away you are from the enemy, and 4 points in Reckless Skirmish, so if you do get a kill with Lunge, you get that Frenzy for 4 seconds, which gives you 20% more cast speed, which is really nice, because that attack speed and cast speed is going to affect how fast you can throw the hammers. Then for Holy Aura, our defensive skill, we've got 2 points in Call to Arms, 2 points in Strength from Afar, 4 points in Expedite, 2 points in Fanatism, 4 points in Vital Boom for the health regen, 1 point in Purification, so it cleanses ailments whenever you activate it, so you'll have full resistance without actually having to put it on autocast, but if you do get poisoned or have an ailment, you can go ahead and hit it, and it'll cleanse you from it, which is really nice. Granted, you can only do that once every 10 seconds, and then 5 points in Shelter from the Storm for the elemental resist and endurance. If you want to go a little bit more defensive and you don't care so much about the throwing attack speed or the 2 extra points you have in Vital Boon, you can definitely switch it up because you have a lot of block, especially since you have the Bastion of Honor. You're blocking everything that's close by. You can get more block effectiveness and then have health healed, and you can also gain ward from every one of those blocks, and that will boost up your survivability even a little bit more. For passives, we got 25 points in the Sentinel base class with 4 points in Juggernaut, 5 points in Fearless, 1 point in Gladiator, 5 points in Armor Clad, and 5 points in both Valiant Charge and 5 points in Axe Thrower. So there's a chance on every hit you do to throw an axe at a nearby enemy, which is really nice as well. This counts for all your extra hammers. So you have the Smite chance to idols that'll give you every time a hammer hits an enemy to throw down a smite, but then on every one of those hammer hits you also have a chance to throw an axe, and that axe is another throwing hit that then has a chance to proc the smite as well. So just a couple extra possible smites are going to be thrown out here and there. 1 point in Forge Guard to put in Steel Aegis for that block effectiveness and the extra block chance. 11 points in Void Knight with 10 points in Abyssal Endurance. This gives us a lot of health. It gives you your Void and physical resist as well. And then 1 point in Void Corruption, so we get more crit multi. This is only for 11 points of crit multi, but it's still a little bit more damage. And then 76 points in the Paladin, the Master class, with 8 points in Conviction, 1 point in Defiance, 1 point in Honor, 10 points in Heaven Fire, 7 points in Dedication, 8 points in Faith Armor, which gives you a lot of your critical strike avoidance as well as a lot more armor, 8 points in Sanctuary's Guardian, 1 point in Shield Wall for more block chance, health gained on block, and then also you cannot dodge, and then 10 points in Holy Precision, which gives you a ton of spell crit. It also gives you a lot of crit multiplier with lightning skills, so it's going to make your lightning smite hit a lot harder. 12 points in Relevance of Duality, which gives you tons of damage, health, and it also gives you a lot more mana. And then 10 points in Light of 𝐓𝐤, which gives you a lot more lightning damage, and then of course some move speed as well, so you can fly through the maps. Then for gear, like I said, there will be 2 build planners for this. There's going to be this one, which is kind of the luxury build planner. You can still do a little bit better than what's even here. And then there will be a non one, which will not have any LP items, and it won't have the Bastion of Honor, and will be a lot easier to ascertain. So here we have a Culver's Claim that does have a 3 LP on it. The blind on hit is not something that you wanted, but you can have. But the spell critical strike chance and critical strike multiplier is really good for it and really helps with this build. It's just more lightning damage, and then on top of that, the spell critical strike chance is going to make Smite be able to crit way more often. A Bastion of Honor, a Devotion. The Devotion is huge for that cast speed and that extra adaptive spell damage, especially when your mana is down. And if your mana ever does fill up and you're not casting Sigils, the Culver's Claim will automatically put it back down to 0 for you, which is really nice. And then a Stormcarved Testament with extra critical strike multiplier on it. While not super necessary for the build, it does give you a lot of shock chance, lightning pen, and added flat lightning damage, which is really nice and really helps Smite do just a bit more damage. For everything else, you're just basically going for as much health as possible and covering whatever resistances you didn't have. Make sure to get negative throwing attack costs on both rings. If you can do that, it'll really help you out. We don't have it on the right ring, but instead of the increased critical strike chance, definitely can throw in another -3 there, and it would reduce your hammer cost just a little bit more. And then for the chest, just as much mana as you can possibly get. That's why we're stacking a lot of attunement, and you can get both increase and flat mana on the helm, which is really nice. And instead of the flat armor, flat health would obviously give you even a little bit more survivability here. For idols, you want the chance to cast Smite on throwing attacks, or on hit on throwing attacks, and you can get chance to shred armor on hit with them. So these are your best in slot idols. You definitely want to get 4 of those. And then whatever resistance you still need, you can throw in the 1x1s for, as well as get some extra flat mana. So a perfect hybrid idol will be a resistance you need or health, along with mana. And then for blessings, there's a few of them that you can get, but you don't really need all of them. But obviously, if you go to the 𝐓𝐤, getting % of spell damage leeches health is going to be a huge one. Getting endurance and all resist is another good one that you can get, and of course armor. So here we have block effectiveness and chance to apply frailty, but if you have increased and flat armor, it's going to be a lot more damage reduction. So lots of options here. I'm just going to scroll over the rest of these. Nothing super important. The lightning resistance on hit is a very good one to get. So if you do go to Ending the Storm, that is a very good one to get. You can also get mana here, and mana will boost your damage and will give you all of that adaptive flat damage for Smite, which is also very effective, but lightning resist is probably your best bet, and that is going to be it for the blessings. As you can see for the character sheet, got just over 2300 health. All of the resistances are completely covered without even using Holy Aura, so Holy Aura is just used when you're really wanting to cleanse the ailments that are on you. Got about 40% armor, which is a lot of damage reduction. We have 37% chance block, but 137% chance to block anything that's inside the aura for Bastion of Honor, which is pretty normal, and that'll also give you almost 50% additional damage reduction. Got almost 400% lightning damage, and then for defense, not quite capped on endurance, not quite capped on critical strike avoidance, so just got to get a little bit better rolls on the gear. You could also go Reign of Dragons if you want to get CSA Blessing from there to cover the rest, or just get a better roll there, and that will finish that off. So those are the last two things to really work for on this build, but completely possible to do. And then for how to play the build, so nothing needs to be on autocast. All you have to do is you want to keep your mana as low as possible. So I could manually cast Sigils of Hope if I wanted. I'm just going to let it fill up here real quick, and once it fills up, it's automatically going to be reduced back down to normal. And then when that happens, all you do is just cast hammers and lunge around. You don't manually cast Smite. You don't have to manually cast the Sigils of Hope unless you don't have some. But as you can see here, it fills up, back down, and then you can just go ahead and start casting your hammers. And here you can see that we're doing 200k crits with Smite, which is absolutely huge. The lower your mana is, the higher those crits are going to be. You can even get a Storm Totem on hit, which is pretty cool. It's not going to do a whole lot of damage for us as we're not stacked with minions. But you can see here, without a problem, we don't even have Sigils active. You have tons and tons of damage. If we go ahead and get our Sigils out here, let me get 4 of those guys. And then I can show you the damage is even just a tad bit higher. Again, as you get kills, you'll automatically get those. And there's our 4 sigils. So once we start casting some more hammers here, you can see that our crits, boom, there you go. We're sitting 250k hits. It's absolutely ridiculous how much damage you can do with your smites on this. It'll also hit multiple targets, and you have the huge AoE where you can just walk through maps with your hammers out and just absolutely clear through. But that's going to be it for this leveling guide. There will be a 1 to 75 leveling guide with it, which isn't for hammers, it's for Holy Trail, but it'll get you end game to where you can hunt down some of these items, or you can level with hammers. Leveling up, it also works. Just make sure that you have the idols. But again, that's going to be it. Stay safe, have a good day, and enjoy some gameplay.